Guys, I'm back to do a flip through of journal number 5. This is actually my second time trying to record this because the first time when I did it, this camera actually cut off because the battery was low. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's just get started. Like I said, this one was volume 5. Bunch of stickers on the front. If I can turn the page, there we go. Bunch more stickers. This was back when I was like really obsessed with stickering everything. I don't do it quite as bad anymore. But I was just talking about seeing my fiance and how I was glad to see him. This was back in 2012, so he hadn't proposed yet, I don't think. But anyway, we were also talking about the trip to Jekyll, how much fun we had, wishing that, you know, he could live with us because of distance. Mentioned I had a doctor's appointment there. Now I don't really like going to it. Don't get me wrong, the doctor was really, really nice, and I will admit I'm that person that cried once I couldn't see him anymore because he was a children's doctor and I was not of age anymore, so I had to go to a different one. But I'm one of those people that once I have a doctor that knows me and knows my case, once I have to go, it kind of stinks. But anyway, just mentioning going to my grandparents over here. Fiance had to help his brother. This was back when I was doing intern and doing seminars and things. Excuse me. So I wasn't looking forward to it, especially because the place where I was interning was going to be gone was going to be out for fall break, and I still had to attend seminar. But anyway, mentioning some of my favorite singers here, like Demi and Britney, mentioning lab work, that I don't like it. And also apologize for like the duct tape and everything. It's just what I had at the time. Mentioned that it was a busy day because I had to help Grandma with a few things. Had my legs freak out on me one day. That wasn't fun. My brother's birthday here. Mentioned how cold it was because it was really, really cold that day. It was like 35 degrees and I had 5 blankets on the bed. Yeah, I'm that person. It's Halloween. Mention again, it's another cold day here. Mention I've been sick for a few days, but I also mentioned that's what happens when you work with kids. My brother had his back surgery that day too. Wrote kind of like super early in the morning, but it's like 1:30 when I started writing in this. Mentioned that I started watching Pink Sparkles. Started intern at Early Learning Center. Mentioned that it was a lot of work, that my supervisors are nice enough, but it's just a lot of work. Some of my nail polish obsessions here. Mentioned another doctor's appointment there, because I'd been having a lot of headaches, so we were trying to figure out why. I mentioned I was going to see my dad Saturday there. Had the doctor's appointment. I apologize, you can't see the text very well because the pen I used on the other side kind of bled through, but mentioned I might be seeing my dad there. Been using a lot of like lotions and stuff. Didn't see my dad on this one because my brother didn't wake up in time, because he tends to do that. Mentioned that I'm not going to intern the rest of the semester because of the headaches that were bugging me. I just couldn't handle it. I had another chance at a different semester, but I'm also having to go to the doctor again and see why. Mentioned I have a gynecologist appointment there. Not really looking forward to it. Savage Family Diggers was a show that I freaking love to watch. It was really, really funny. Mentioned a bunch of chaos that happened involving the early learning center and everything. Not going to go into details. This is just me complaining about that because it was a 2-page entry. But I mentioned that I woke up at 2 p.m., which is unusual for me. Started watching Chugga Conroy's Majora's Mask walkthrough. Watched Legally Blondes with the twins. Trying to remember their names. I know one is Becky, but anyway. Friend of the family was shifting my bed and helped me get a pink pen that was behind the bed, so I got really happy about that. Was being annoyed here, but then I also wrote what my middle name would look like in Japanese kanji. If I drew it wrong, I apologize. Mentioned I have a Social Security hearing that day. Wrote here that I'm hoping that it went well. That I also want to see John, my fiance, on Valentine's Day. Mentioned I'm having a lot of nausea. This journal in particular was like a lot of medical things, so if that gets old, I apologize. Been watching more of Chugga's videos here. I mentioned something that happened with me and my mom. Not going to go into detail. If you hear coughing, that's my brother waking up, which it is 2 o'clock at the time of recording this. Yeah, I know. 12:30 is when I started this one. My mom actually got fired from her job that day. I was kind of annoyed at her boss. He'd been threatening her for years, and it just was really, really bad. Still no word from my doctor, so I was getting very, very annoyed about that. Started watching Okamiden by the walkthrough by Chugga. I tried to write my name in kanji again. I apologize if I butcher that, but heard from my doctor finally. The MRI was scheduled for like almost a month later, so I was kind of annoyed by that, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Remember, I woke up from a nap and my mom was out running errands and I didn't even know where she went, but I started watching Pokemon Coliseum by Chugga. Mentioned that I started liking the show Gypsy Sisters. I haven't caught up on any of the newer episodes, so. Mentioned health-wise that was when my nerve pain was starting to kick in. I had stomach cramps and just was not really that great. Started watching The Big American Gypsy Wedding and Jersey Shore and things like that, so. Also mentioning like my transplant appointments and things like that. Oh, I think that was my computer that dinged, but I could be wrong. Mentioned that I started playing on a site called Pogo.com again. That was a site that me and my uncle played together on a lot, so I didn't really play on it that much because of it reminding me of him, so that was why I didn't. Here I was watching Pokemon Fire Red by Chugga. My mom actually did get a new job, but she had to call in because of gallbladder issues, which we didn't know that at the time. Started reading again here. I started The Help, which I had finished this day, gave it 4 out of 5, and then started Snooki's book, which was called A Sure Thing, I think. Yeah, it says it right here. I gave it a 4 out of 5, which I'm having labs. Started Clockwork Angel here. Almost 300 pages in, was really liking it. Hoping that my brother would take me to the library there. Finished The Help, I said it here, finished The Help on Friday, Snooki's book Sunday, Clockwork Angel yesterday. And then I started The Hunger Games halfway through. And then on this page, finished The Hunger Games, 50 pages into Catching Fire. And then also started Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. But got to the second part of Catching Fire here. Almost halfway through Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. Mentioned that it's less than a week to the MRI. I also said I hope I'll finish the Hunger Games trilogy by Wednesday, that way I can start the Wolves of Mercy Falls series. Finished Catching Fire, and I gave it a 5 out of 5. Then I started Neferet's Curse, which was one of the books of the House of Night series, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. 50 pages into Mockingjay, and on the next page, mentioned that the MRI actually had to be canceled due to insurance reasons, which was annoying. And still reading Mockingjay, hoping to see my dad soon. The new date for the MRI was like a good month and 10 days away, which was kind of annoying. Finished Mockingjay, started reading Unwind. Mentioned that it was really, really creepy. Seeing my dad, 2:30 Saturday. Here's where I mentioned it. Finished Unwind, gave it a 5 out of 5. Saw my father then. I didn't recognize him hardly because he went through chemo and all that, so it just changed his appearance. Started The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks here. And I finished it here. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Then started The Notebook. Finished book 1 of the Pretty Little Liars series here. And I guess I finished The Notebook before that. I shouldn't put it in here. Anyway, finished The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks, gave it a 5 out of 5. I mentioned I wanted to hang out with my friend Robin here. This was when the drama of 2013 actually had started. This was surgery to change the shunt again. I apologize if you hear my brother coughing. Got to see my fiance during all that, so that was an upside. Mentioned that I'd had 2 more surgeries and a bedside procedure to try to fix the shunt. That was kind of annoying. Glad to be out of the hospital because of the freaking thing. Just the constant in and out was annoying. My birthday was soon. Got my better insulin. I was really happy about that. This was a little note that my fiance put in here for me. Mentioned I can't wait to see him. And got to see him on the next entry, was really glad. Mentioned that I really liked using a certain type of lotion and was really glad that I was able to have my skin feeling as good as it was my words. But busy week. This was when I got my first Empties video posted. Robin helped me get it posted, so thank you to her for helping me get that straight. Mentioned that I couldn't see my fiance till like 14 days later than what we had planned, which kind of stunk, but got my B-Day present from him, which it was actually this picture. He had this picture done of our furry forms. That's him, that's me. So that's what that picture was for. Then there's a jump from May to July here, and I started Wonder by R.J. Palacio. Loved it, gave it a 5 out of 5. Decided to read The Giver on the next day because I heard of the movie coming out, and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Got 13 books from the library and started reading the book Holes, which is what the movie was based off of. Finished Holes, gave it a 4 out of 5. Started book 2 of the series of Unfortunate Events, gave it a 4 out of 5. Finished some manga, gave them a 4 out of 5. Read some more manga. Couldn't get into the sequel to Unwind, but I started Perks of Being a Wallflower. Finished it, gave it a 4 out of 5. Then I started to read Unravel Me by Tahereh Mafi. If you've seen the flip through of journal number 3, I believe my opinions about that book is in that one. Anyway, there's a jump here because this is 2014, this is 2015. So, mentioned, been a while that I've written in here. Met up with my cousins because it was Easter weekend. Easter here. I've mentioned that one of our cats kept abandoning a kitten for some weird reason. He fell from the attic to the basement and lived with no serious injuries, and then fell again with no serious injuries, but it's just like, what in the world? Mentioned my grandfather went for the pre-op for his hip replacement here. Had to house sit for my grandmother because my Papa was waiting for his computer to come back. Relaxing day here. Another relaxing day. I managed to get a nap in. Grocery store run for the following day. Mentioned that our fridge has decided to go kaput, so that's been kind of annoying. Tomorrow, it says here, tomorrow's Papa's surgery. Really hope things go well for him because I know he was super nervous about it. I would have gone, but my mom didn't want me to leave our Pomeranian alone because he'd been having seizures. So mentioned that he didn't go back for surgery until like 3 o'clock, and it was scheduled for like much earlier. He managed to get out at 8 and things went well. He's sore, but he managed to, things started going well. I got to see him in the hospital, but his hemoglobin had dropped, so he was pale. But they were working on getting that back to normal. We also planned on cleaning their house the next day so that it'd be clean when they got home. Mentioned that we cleaned here. My grandfather had to get 2 more units of blood because his hemoglobin was still going down. And more kittens and things. So grandfather came home. No, he was glad to come home because of hospital food being bad, but anyway. Normal busy day. Was grocery store. We went to Rite Aid. Had to go to both grocery stores actually, and the pet food place. This is probably going to be a really long video. I apologize, guys. Friend of the family had passed here. Felt really bad because I wanted to go, but it was in another state and it would have been hard. Just mentioned here some venting. More venting, and then mentioned that our Pom was doing worse. Our Pomeranian was doing worse as far as his condition. He was coughing like our Chihuahua was, and started getting as bad as him. He had another seizure here. Don't know what was going on. Grandfather was doing well. His hemoglobin came up above 8, so he was doing better. Fortunately, we had to put our Pomeranian down here, so again, we lost both of our dogs within a month of each other. Yeah. He had really bad fluid, his teeth were really bad, so, and he's the type of dog that would try to bite you if you were to brush his teeth, so we couldn't really do it that well. Mentioned my dad's wife lost her mom. I was hoping that she was doing okay, even though we don't get along. Chill day. Mentioned that I went to my dad's wife's mom's funeral out of respect. That was a tongue twister. Another chill day. Mentioned that it felt really weird not having the dogs in the house because they've been there for as long as I can remember. Mentioned how bad allergies were here. Mentioned I was on a really big coloring kick for some reason. Also talked about how I wanted some MLP posters in my room. I mentioned my favorite to least favorite as far as the ponies and then the princesses. Mentioned I get to see my wolf here, or my fiance. I was really glad. Another chill day. Was worried about my grandfather because his leg was draining bad and he'd have to start IV antibiotics. Today was usual. That day was usual grocery run. Grandfather started his IV antibiotics. He's a germaphobe, so he was really worried about that. Had to run to Kmart to try to find some slippers for my grandmother, but couldn't find any. Did find 2 blind bags, and I got Rarity and Fluttershy. Got to see my fiance. This was when he gave me the Luma. This was the tag that came with it. I mentioned that the day was rough here. Mentioned I also was having labs the next day. I was not looking forward to it. Chill day. And just venting on this page. Usual grocery run. Mentioned there was a chance I'd be going with my father to visit my Uncle Mike, which I hadn't seen him since my grandfather on my dad's side's funeral. I mentioned that I was glad that John had Monday off because it was Memorial Day. I mentioned that Thursday is also my gyno appointment, so that was annoying. Didn't get a chance to go with my father because he had to help his brother-in-law with something. Mentioned I was really sore because I went bowling the day before. Didn't do as well because my high was a 101. It was a 138 the previous week. Mentioned I hope to hang out with Robin. Relaxing day. Was not really looking forward to the next day because of my gyno appointment, but then again, what woman likes going to those? Mentioned I've been on a big coloring kick. Another usual grocery run. Missing John. This was the week I started going to my vacation Bible school and helping out there, so that's what most of these entries are. Mentioned I hated that it was the last day of VBS because it was a fun go around. Saw my father, got to hang out with him for a little bit, got to get another blind bag. I got flower wishes. Was kind of annoyed with the fact that Kmart switched out their blind bags because it was wave 7 and they switched to wave 9. Then this is just stickers. Another grocery trip. Mentioned that my throat was getting sore and that I was getting a cold. I loved this picture from Legally Blonde. Mentioned I was getting over my cold. And that tomorrow was Father's Day. And that we were going bowling with my dad around 8. Sticking together. Mentioned it was a cleaning day. We went with my grandfather to Longhorn Steakhouse. It was really good. These were my scores from bowling. Just some receipts from the bowling alley. Mentioned that I got to see John the next day. I was really excited. Some video ideas, a note my wolf left me, tag from the My Little Pony purse that came in, some stickers, Pinkie Pie, and today was here was my mom's birthday. Mentioned I want to see my dad again soon because I don't get to see him enough. And then here's more stickers, and more stickers. Okay guys, I apologize for this video being insanely long, but this one was really thick, so I wanted to make sure that I got everything in there. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys.